Liverpool's extremely quiet and pretty strange transfer window so far. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, today's video we're going to be talking about Liverpool. We're going to be talking about the strange and very inactive transfer window so far by the Reds. We know that obviously a new regime is underway behind the scenes at Liverpool this season. But the quiet transfer window so far by the Reds has left a few fans angry, a few fans frustrated, a few fans deeply concerned by the lack of activity and the overall rather quietness of the Reds. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about certain contracts that are being rung down. We're going to be talking about certain players that are already at the club and everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And also get involved in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about Liverpool's lack of activity so far in this transfer window. Let me know what you guys think about some of the players that are already there. Arne Slot obviously about to take charge of his first season in Liverpool in the Premier League as well. Let me know what you guys think about all of those things. Use and abuse that comment section, people. Talk to me about your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings. Whatever you want to call it, that will make for great and interesting reading, I'm sure, down below. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Liverpool and the transfer window that is slowly but surely passing us by. Look, I want to say first and foremost, I am not overly worried. I am not overly angry. This is not going to turn into a massive rant or anything in regards to this, because I feel like our energy is better preserved for later on down the line. If we go this whole transfer window with only signing on one or two kids, or even no one for that matter, yes, then there will be a rant, then there will be a rage, then there will be cause for concern. But as of right now, I'm only a little bit concerned. I know for a fact that we need major additions. Well, not major maybe, but we need big additions to this side. I'm under no illusion that this side is capable and ready to take on the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal right off the bat under a new manager. I'm not under a complete disillusion that this squad is perfectly set up for Arne Slot. He does not need to make any additions whatsoever to the squad. I know for a fact that we do. But the lack of movement is starting to concern me a little bit. Now, I'm not overly concerned, I'm not overly worried, I'm not going to be going to Twitter to tweet FSG out right now. I'm not going to be practically losing my mind online to cry for us to make signings, even for sometimes the sake of signing a player. We obviously are going in for the right player. It's the Michael Edwards sort of model of we're only going for the right player if he's available for the right price, and nothing more. That's what we did. That's what helped us be so successful under Jurgen Klopp. Michael Edwards back at the helm, working very closely with Richard Hughes, of course. Highly rated, highly thought of in the footballing world. Obviously, it's a change in regime. It's a change behind the scenes, and there's obviously going to be a lot to that. But even so, it's been a very slow window for Liverpool. There's been a few whispers, there's been a few rumours, but there's ultimately been nothing serious. Now, there's two things to this. For the most part, this transfer window has been a slow window all round. It's only just started to really heat up within the past week or two, and that's been mainly from the likes of Manchester United, who are seemingly doing a lot of work right now, seeing as though the international tournaments are over. Everybody's pretty much free to well, their time is free to obviously negotiate with personal terms and things of that nature. So it does seem like United bided their time until the international tournaments were over, and now they've sprang into action. They've signed Xerxes. They're signing Lenny Yoro. Sorry, they've signed Lenny Yoro. They're making moves for other players like Manuel Ugarte's. They're talking about Xavi Simons. They're talking about Adrien Rabiot's. They're talking about Matthijs de Ligt. Those kinds of players. Arsenal today have signed Riccardo Calafiori. We already knew that was going to happen, but obviously the deal did stall a little bit because of the transfer fee that Bologna were demanding. But they managed to negotiate, and now they've signed a big player. Chelsea have made a couple of signings, mainly Dewsbury Hall, but mainly a bunch of kids. Tottenham have been quiet. Manchester City have been more surprisingly quiet than anyone else, which is quite a surprise in all honesty. Apart from the Savio thing, which we obviously knew about, they've been extremely quiet, which is unlike them at all. Other than those like top 5 or 6 teams that are in the Premier League, you know, Aston Villa have done bits. A few other teams may have done bits and pieces here and there, but them top 5 or 6 teams, with the exception of maybe you could include Chelsea in that, but mainly Manchester United and today Arsenal, no one's really doing a lot. And I'm very much surprised by why that is. I would have thought Liverpool, I know that obviously there's a lot of talk about FFP and about PSR and things of that nature, but I would have thought Liverpool, with how they've done and conducted their business over the years, they would have been one of the ones that are flying pretty safe from touching that dreaded sunlight of PSR and FFP coming back to bite them. So I'm very intrigued by the level of silence. Now, on the flip side of that, of course, we know that as Liverpool fans, Liverpool like to keep their cards close to their chest. We know that as Liverpool fans, if there's something to talk about, they'll drop it with full force into the media spectrum, into the journalism group, into the top tiers of the footballing journalism world. We know that if there's something definite, if there's something concrete, they will drop it in there. And it's normally that they are in advanced negotiations, that they are close to striking a deal, that they've agreed personal terms with a player. Again, the Michael Edwards model of years gone by did that brilliantly. And then conveniently, when Edwards did leave, that's when things started to leak out a bit more regularly and frequently than what we would have liked. But as it goes, we're back with Edwards now. We're back with Hughes, and I wouldn't be surprised if obviously they've got together and are bleeding tiny bits out to the press every now and again to give them something to work with, to give them something to feed upon. Does it make it right? Who knows? But the fact of the matter is I'm not entirely concerned, because I know that aspect of Liverpool Football Club, and I know that aspect of the way that Michael Edwards works. So there's no point to get completely upset by that right now. There are whispers, there are rumours. We've obviously heard about Liverpool being in for a centre-back this season. Riccardo Calafiori, as we mentioned, is going to Arsenal, but he was briefly mentioned for a time. Lenny Yoro, of course, there was concrete interest from Liverpool there in him. And Mark Gahey, of course, another name to be mentioned. And that's just 3 of the many names that you can probably list. You can probably also include Inacio of Sporting Lisbon in there as well, another player that Liverpool have rumoured and reportedly had interest in. There's also left wing Anthony Gordon. His name was mentioned from Newcastle, but it seems the hefty transfer fee and the fact that Newcastle don't need to sell anymore to accommodate for PSR has seemingly put that transfer speculation to rest, it seems. Nico Williams. Seems like he's going to be going to Barcelona. A number of teams circulating around, though, just in case Barcelona can't find the funds to sign him. Liverpool are seemingly one of those teams. And away from the transfer side of things, it's about keeping your players as well. Sometimes your biggest signings can be the ones that you keep. We have 3 big players that we need to make a decision on that are heading into the final year of their contract. Trent, Mohamed Salah, and Virgil van Dijk. Now, Trent has a huge amount of speculation surrounding him over whether or not he is definitely interested in joining Real Madrid. And this could be a massive season for Liverpool. If Liverpool get this right, they could keep him and tie him down to a long-term deal, and he could see out the rest of his career at Liverpool. If they get it wrong, Trent could be off to Real Madrid, and with him entering the final year of his contract, he could be going there for free, or as close to a free transfer as you can get. There's no such thing as a free transfer in football. Salah entering the final year of his deal. We know that obviously. Saudi Arabia are still buzzing around in the background over him, with him nearing the end of his career as well, or at least close to the end of his career than he is at the beginning. That money that they could potentially offer him could set him and his family up for life. For life, and even the next life beyond this life. So that continues to still buzz around. And Virgil van Dijk. Now, Van Dijk is an interesting one because Van Dijk himself hasn't exactly clarified where his future may lie. And again, with him entering into like the stage of his career where maybe he is thinking about retirement. Again, maybe not just on his part, but maybe on Liverpool's part as well. They're not willing to tie him down to a new long-term deal. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these three players. But I'm concerned about the centre-back situation. Because let's say that Liverpool want to keep Van Dijk. You've got Van Dijk, you've got Konate, you've got Gomez, you've got Kwanzaa that can all play there. And the one on the outside is Sepp van den Berg. Now, a lot's been made about Van den Berg this summer. He might be going, he might be staying, he might be finally given a chance at Liverpool. I'm concerned by this because this guy has been at our club for several years. He's got a couple of loan spells, or a fair few loan spells, a couple of them quite successful. Not really got given a look in, and yet there is talk that maybe he'll get given his chance this year. He's doing really well in training. These are all the little bits and pieces that are coming out. Us going after the likes of Lenny Yoro, Calafiore, and especially the Yoro one, which obviously we were definitely in for, and a lot of people lost their heads over, and some people were like, well, we don't need another centre-back, we don't need this, we don't need that. An 18-year-old Lenny Yoro that was going to be there for the future and never the present, for a Virgil van Dijk that is going to be leaving soon, was always going to be the long-term solution. We don't get him, it's cool. We just move on to another target. But at the same time, it's clear that we're looking at a centre-back option. We have 4 centre-backs going into this season. Now, if Van Dijk does go, that will obviously reduce it down to 3. If Van den Berg's going to get given a chance and Van Dijk stays, that obviously increases it to 5. We don't need another centre-back, in my personal opinion, for this season if he's going to be given a chance. Now, whether or not he's good enough or not, obviously that remains to be seen. Maybe he could be a breakthrough prospect this season. Maybe he could break into the senior squad and be an absolute delight, and he could absolutely save us a lot of money going forward. I don't know. Only time will tell. But I've been here before with certain players, and it's not just a Liverpool tactic when I say this. All clubs seemingly do it. They big up a player so much in pre-season, and then they go and sell him in that same pre-season. I'm not going to be surprised if Van den Berg is going to be going this season. Not surprised whatsoever. And then you may be looking at, well, maybe now we do need a centre-back. Trent. We need to tie him down to a new contract. I know that he may want to maybe see out what happens this season and everything, but the way that I see it is we need to tie him down right now. We need to tie him down right this instant. It's a madness to me that we've let this guy's contract run down to where it is right now. I actually cannot believe we've done that, and that is definitely on FSG and their part for doing this. But like I say, we need to tie him down. We need to get this season right. We need to prove to him that Liverpool was the best place to be, because this guy is a one-of-a-kind, extremely unique player that I'm looking at, and if we were to sell him, we could get 130 million for him at the very least. But with his contract being in the final year, with Real Madrid obviously being Real Madrid, you're probably looking at about half of that. You're probably looking at about 60, 65, 70 million that we could probably sell him for right now if we were going to. And that would be a bargain price for Real Madrid. I'm not concerned by the lack of movement, because I know that Liverpool do their business, a lot of their business, behind the scenes. And I wouldn't be surprised if very, very soon something does drop about Liverpool because they want to kind of appease the fans. Now, will it be good? Will it be all speculation? Will it be another interest story that just ties the fans over until the next one? I don't know. But I'm not going to be surprised if something does drop in the coming days and it's something to do with Liverpool and it's something at least somewhat positive in the form of signing a new player this summer. Definitely needs to happen. There are areas of this squad that definitely need to be strengthened. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. But to fans that are crying out, I just want to say, just calm down. Your energy should not be wasted this early in a transfer window. If in a month's time, when the season kicks off, we've still not signed anybody, and then you hear lots of talk in the press about how we need to sign this player and this player and this player and this player, that's when you need to panic. If we get to the end of the transfer window and we've only signed a couple of kids, or if we've only signed, no one, that's when you need to start voicing your frustration and voicing your anger. Don't get me wrong, I'm not FSG in by any stretch of the imagination. I am more FSG out than I am FSG in. I said that the other day when I did a video on FSG in the aftermath of the Lenny Yoro situation. But in saying all of that, we obviously need patience. We need a bit of patience in this situation in regards to a new regime, a new manager with new coaches. And we just need to trust it. As much as I somewhat have started to really hate the phrase trust the process, I agree with where the main bulk of the meaning and the definition of that all stems from. And that's exactly what we need to do in this situation. We just need to trust that Slot and Hughes and Edwards and whoever else is involved are all on the same page. They're all singing off the same hymn sheet. And that things will start moving soon. The contract situation for Trent especially is unforgivable. For Salah and Van Dijk, given their age, I can somewhat understand why we've obviously let their contracts run down. It's understandable to an extent. It'll be interesting to see what does happen. I can see Mo probably getting another year. Van Dijk, it depends on what Van Dijk wants, to be honest. But Trent is definitely unforgivable, and that is where I will cuss out and point the finger of blame completely at FSG for letting that contract run down to the point where Real Madrid are sniffing around. If we can stave them off and we can tie him down to a new long-term deal, then absolutely fantastic. If he does walk there, FSG will probably have blood on their hands from a lot of Liverpool fans. So I'm very much interested by all this. I'm very much interested by some of the players that we already have. I already talked about the players that are running down their contracts. I already talked about Sepp Vandenberg in particular. I think there are other players there that we can maybe look at maybe selling this summer. Luis Diaz, maybe for me. I know people will say, well, he had a good Copa America. Yeah, international football is different to club football, guys. Just bear that in mind. But no, in all seriousness, there's a lot there to obviously digest and obviously to unpack and talk about. So, as I always say with these kind of things, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of anything that I talked about in this video in regards to Liverpool Football Club? The transfer window that is extremely quiet right now. anything and everything to do with Liverpool Football Club as of right now. The contract situations running down, the players, everything else. I would love to know what you guys think and feel in the comment section down below. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new, want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I'm seeing to speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.